Hello, my name is Dr. Nerna Bursinou, and my research has focused on the importance of information and communication technologies for the forced migrants in Greece. Today, I will discuss how certain stereotypes on migrants are being diffused and normalized into society and how this can impact our perceptions on them. Please note that here I use the word migrant as an inclusionary term for everyone who is on the move, independently of their asylum status or reason for fleeing. Let's begin our analysis with the contested term refugee crisis, which has been largely used in media and political speech. This kind of terminology creates an understanding that migrants are the ones responsible for the creation of a crisis, when in fact they are the ones being affected by it. I would like to invite you to consider the arrival of migrants as a result of a border crisis created by Europe. If we look at the ways in which the West has managed their internal and external borders, we will notice how severely this has impacted on migrants' rights and well-being. Another point to make relates to toxic narratives about migrants' legitimacy in claims making for their rights. We often hear that someone is not a real refugee, that they do not need help because they have enough money to own a smartphone, that they come from a country with no war, and that they are simply economic migrants. During my research, though, I have spoken to people from various countries, and two things have become understood. The first one is that people have several reasons for leaving their homelands, which relate to the broader social, political, and economic situations of the countries, but also to the people's personal needs and aspirations. All of them are valid reasons. The second one is that thinking of migrants as needy people is deeply stereotypical and problematic because migrants can belong to various social classes, they come in all ages and genders, they can be more or less educated, and they can certainly own a smartphone. Being a migrant is an identity they all share, but each person continues to have their unique personality despite being a migrant. Finally, I'm sure you've seen newspaper headlines or heard far-right wing politicians referring to migrants as illegals. This is nothing less than an organized attack aiming to demonize migrants so that they come across as dangerous and criminals. This rhetoric is often accompanied by the labeling of migrants as people carrying diseases or wishing to impose Islamic values on the West. In reality, though, if migrants cross irregularly, then this is because Europe does not permit safe and legal passages. When migrants end up sick, this is because of the conditions they are forced to survive in crowded camps and isolated detention centers. And instead of them imposing Islam on the West, I think it's better to consider migrants as people making efforts to get accustomed to the new culture while at the same time preserve their own.